Can renunciation be an act? Can detachment be an act? Can a drop falling in the ocean be an act? Can a state of liberated mind pretend like a stone? No. State of liberation, when it really happens, you need not pretend. Namaste everyone. Today we will explore this chapter, the nature of freedom or liberation. Attaining freedom from miseries is liberation. Liberation is both permanent and temporary. Babaji talks about going beyond dvandvas, going beyond opposites. We naturally arrive at a state of liberation. That means one is not even aware of miseries nor its opposites. Moment you free yourself from misery, and automatically when you start feeling happy, for example, and you start again being devoured by the states of happinesses, then too somehow you lose a perspective. Obsession with anything makes us lose perspective. The way we want to escape from misery and the way we want to remain enamored by the happinesses to a greater and greater extent. That too distorts our vision. And anything that makes us distort our vision, where the seer starts seeing things and needs proper glasses to see. Likewise, when the seer and sin remains in a confused state, there will always be a problem. Unless and until this confusion is removed, till then we will not be able to get liberation. Liberation is both permanent and temporary. Here Lalaji Maharaj is talking about liberation as well as salvation in one go. Salvation, according to Babaji Maharaj, is also temporary. Liberation is permanent. Here, liberation has nothing to do here. In the traditional way of understanding that liberation is all about not being born again. No, you are so liberated, you are so free that you can choose to come back. Otherwise, why would the great souls like Lord Buddha or Swami Vivekananda say, I'll be back? Only a truly liberated person will say, I can do whatever I want. Of course, within that framework of Dharma. When the liberation is such that the bondage of sorrow is never felt, it is permanent liberation. Is bondage also permanent? If we are to speak of liberation as permanent, no. Bondages are not permanent. They are temporary. If bondages were permanent, there would not be any possibility of liberation from them. Now, the question is, if bondages are temporary and are not permanent, is liberation also temporary? Bondages are temporary, but liberation is permanent. While in the second sentence, Lalaji Maharaj says, liberation is both permanent and temporary. In the last sentence of this paragraph, based on the bondages, Lalaji talks about liberation as both temporary and permanent. So, in simple way, we can understand from this that as long as bondages will remain, there is no hope for liberation. Moment you are out of this association of bondages, whatsoever they be, once you get out of these bondages permanently, then there is permanent phase of liberation we call proper liberation and not salvation. Going beyond Dvandwas, we should understand that where the idea of misery or happiness both are transcended, then we arrive at a pure state of liberation. You will yourself know, you'll yourself experience it. Yes, I don't need any other proof from Shastras or anyone else, including my master. Such a state is achievable through our simple practices. Morning meditation, evening cleaning, keep on doing it. One day you will realize that yes, suddenly, just as churning of butter happens, like that, this state also, on its own, will speak to us that yes, this is liberation. Some say that being bereft of feelings and movement like a stone is liberation. Some think that being one with the ocean as the drop is liberation. Others say that flame uniting with flame is liberation. Some believe that one who ascends high is liberated. But none of these is true. Mental attachment is bondage and detachment is liberation. It is also called sacrifice or renunciation. Renunciation and detachment can also be called liberation. The following is the difference between these two, which is also found in a saint and in one who has renounced everything. Whenever we look at such statements, we really get confused. Can renunciation be an act? Can detachment be an act? Can a drop falling in the ocean be an act? Can a state of liberated mind pretend like a stone? No. State of liberation, when it really happens, you need not pretend. You need not even make an effort that the drop is merging now in the ocean. That effort also becomes redundant. Feeling that I am pure, feeling that I am detached from the rest of the world, this will no longer be artificial or cultivated. It simply happens.